that to load up. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be joined by the WBC President, El Presidente, I don't know if that's the way you say it, Mauricio Sulaiman of the WBC.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you. Good morning for me in Mexico City. Uh, Beautiful sunny day. I'm very happy to be joining October Red.
I'd like to say it's sunny here, but it isn't. I live in a small place called Birmingham and it's very overcast and cold.
Well, everything has its beauty, so
I like
appreciate
that.
it and love it. Yes.
So, the reason today, obviously, I had the statement that was sent to us regarding, obviously, the open letter to the boxing community, which we appreciate very much. If it's okay with you, Maurizio, am I all right to just go over that just to start off our conversation?
Absolutely.
Okay. So obviously that it was dated January the 22nd and it starts off, it's very touching, it's very personal. It starts off, everything is going to be all right. Unfortunately, our sport is currently in the headlines all over the world, but for the wrong reasons. A powerful entity worth billions of dollars is shouting in an attempt to make itself heard regarding its intent to enter boxing and dominate the sport while eliminating promoters and sanctioning organizations. Their aim to alter the landscape of boxing in the pursuit of profit cannot be ignored, and it needs to be seen for what it is, an attempt to take over the people's sport, which should not be owned or dominated by a single entity. Those efforts include spending millions of dollars to modify or to introduce new laws in the United States of America. And they have used money and influence to buy testimonials and promote scripted interviews on networks that they own. Money can buy many things. However, no one is rich enough to buy back their past or erase their actions, which are facts. Glory, history, reputation, service, integrity can never be bought. And it's as simple as that. Boxing is the greatest sport in the world. It is one that offers opportunities to those who come from humble beginnings and overcome obstacles, hoping to become someone in life. Those girls and boys who dream of winning a gold medal for their country or winning the WBC green belt to become world champions. The only reason the WBC exists for the boxers before, during, and after their years in the ring. In these times of uncertainty, fighters all over the world who have worked tirelessly to achieve everything they have earned should know that the World Boxing Council has their backs and it will continue to do so unconditionally. Boxing is comprised of the WBC, the WBO, IBF, and WBA titles. Those titles mean the world to those who are able to conquer them. Boxing has promoters such as PBC, Top Rank, Golden Boy, Matchroom, Queensbury, Tekken, Samson Boxing, Zanfa, Latin KO, Don King Promotions, and hundreds of other companies around the world. These companies promote boxing with an industry that provides opportunities to boxers in a free market where the majority of the money generated in each event goes to the boxers themselves, period. There is no entity, league, person, champion, or that is larger than the sport. Boxing is a worldwide sport that has thrived for 150 years and counting, giving the millions of fans memories they will remember for a lifetime. Boxing has also evolved and changed its rules, continuing to do so in order to make the sport safer for those who enter the ring. Do not worry, everything will be all right. Just keep on doing what you do. Long live boxing. What a statement that is, Maurizio. It seems so personal and heartfelt. It doesn't seem like you got your PR team to muster up something that was eye catching and snazzy. It's almost like you wrote that yourself.
I did. I did write myself. I read it to some friends and supporters, and they helped me to tweak a little. To my English is not my first language, so I also had some help from Jill Diamond that knows the English, but this is the heart and soul of the WBC, the fighter. And I enjoyed listening to you reading it. I had not read it after I sent it out, and it says it all. We are not going to allow anyone to come in with deep pockets and try to dictate what the boxer has to do. They are not animals. They are not merchandise. They are fighters, human beings. They're kids who dream, and the dream is to win a medal or win a championship. And it's good to come with a league. It's great. The more boxing there is, the best for the sport. But don't come in and change things with abuse of power in which you're going to hurt the fighters. That's it.
When you talk about people coming in, obviously we've had Zuffa Boxing, which is backed by Riyadh Season. They've had their first card on the weekend. I'll take it when you pen that letter, Maurizio. Let's be honest. Is that where you are directing this letter at? Is that the company you are talking about?
Yeah, it's about Zuffa. Zuffa has a movement to try to introduce a law in the United States which is completely against the Muhammad Ali law, which was created in the late 90s with the Muhammad Ali personal intervention, with Roy Jones, with so many members of the industry. My father he went to a hearing in the Senate, and this law was introduced to protect the fighter. The fighter must have representation, must have the ability to negotiate, must know the money that is on the table, and can make a decision in a free market. The proposed league is to emulate exactly what the UFC is in mixed martial arts. And the UFC is a multi-billion company. Where those billions came from the fighters who entered the octagon, the cage, to fight, and the company made the billions while the fighters made some money, nothing compared to boxing. In boxing, 80% of the money generated goes to the fighters, 20% to the company. In the UFC, 83% goes to the company, 17% for the fighters, and many other examples. Sponsorship opportunities, freedom of speech, freedom of action, ratings, and championship fights. When you own the belt and you own the rankings and you own the fighters and you own the television, it's a complete circle. It's a universe that can come into a huge opportunity for conflict of interest. The WBC was born 1963, and the statement was made: the organizations must never have to do anything with the business of the sport. We do the rankings, the championship, the rules, the studies, everything that is the sport, but the business belongs to the promoters. Otherwise, it's a huge conflict of interest.
What I see then, Maurizio, is obviously with Zuffa, because I did a bit of research when they were coming into the sport before, I think it was late last year, when they were looking to make the amendments to the Muhammad Ali Act and like you said, centralize some of the operations and basically have this UBO or UBOs, which then sort of nullifies the other belts, one of them being yours, that's been mentioned. They also mentioned potentially an insurance where the fighters are, they've got some kind of medical insurance. I'm playing devil's advocate, Maurizio, because that part of the agreement, whether I agree with the rest of it or not, the medical insurance to look after the fighters seemed quite an attractive add-on to what they were saying. What would you say to that, Maurizio?
Every single fighter who enters the ring in a WBC sanctioned fight has life and medical insurance. Period. That's the WBC. I cannot talk for other organizations. I
Okay.
believe the insurance they, I believe the insurance that they mentioned covers also training. Uh, of that is sensational for the fighter. It is good to have insurance, but this is limited to the 200 fighters that are in the contract. So what benefit does to the other thousands of fighters? So that's a thing. There's when you tell the story in a scripted manner, you and I never talked before. You're asking anything you like to ask, and I will respond anything you ask me. The way they do it, they plan and they script every program. So when you see somebody outside of their circle ask a question, my God, they go crazy. They don't know what to say. They start swearing. So that's the difference. We can analyze every single aspect to put a minimum of $150 per round. I think they now changed to 200. That's ridiculous. If we see most of the fights worldwide, fighters make more than that money per round. So they are trying to picture something with beautiful colors, but behind that picture, there's nothing. It's blank. It's only a one side, one dimension picture of their world. In the WBC and the WBO, WBIBF, with PBC, Top Rank, Matchroom, Queensberry, Don King, Golden Boy, with the current, it's everything is solid. It's a huge network in the whole world. It's Muhammad Ali, Leonard Hagler, Hearns, Chavez, Duran, Mayweather, Pacquiao, Canelo. It is not something that is just to say. Boxing is a great sport. It belongs to the boxers and to the fans. And the only reason of existence of the WBC is the boxers. We will protect and support and die in the line for the fighters.
Maurizio, what would you say then? Because obviously each of the belts has a sanctioning fee. There are fees that are available that fighters pay to keep them within, say, the rankings, for example, and obviously to hold on to the belt. Obviously, there's a percentage. I don't need to get into all of that. But say, for example, some of the fighters may have a discrepancy on the percentages that they have to pay for these sanctioning fees. And therefore, say, for example, Zuffa could look at that as an angle to say, well, you won't have to pay those expensive sanctioning fees depending on obviously how much money you make. How would you operate that? Because I know you had a little bit of a to in and fro in with Terence Crawford regarding, I think it was the 3%, etc., etc. So there is sometimes resistance towards the sanctioning fees, Maurizio.
Thank you so much for bringing this topic. It's an opportunity to clear it. The WBC only income is a fee from a promoter who promotes a WBC fight and a 3% fee from the fighters who fight for the WBC title. But that 3% is completely capped and limited when it goes to the big fights, okay? Many fights are very low, $100,000,
Yep.
$200,000, $300,000. That's a very small fee. Fighters don't need to pay anything to remain or to be ranked. That's that's a lie. That's a complete misstatement. So when they fight for the WBC title, the promoter pays a fee to promote that fight, and the two fighters pay a fee to fight for the title. Where does that money go? The WBC has operations. We have uh, we have to rent offices. We have
Yep.
three
Yeah,
different
overheads.
operations.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the overhead. We have 50 employees in Mexico City. We have operations in several countries. We have different committees. We have the normal expenses to operate. But most importantly, every single penny that comes to the WBC goes back to boxing, one way or another. We support amateur boxing. We have a women's division that we support and spend a lot of money to support women who 25 years ago, nobody cared for the women in boxing. The WBC introduced the championship for women. We have had 4 world conventions, 1 world summit. We work with women, with the promoters, etc., etc. Crawford made a decision. He knew that the WBC established a fee for his fight against Canelo, not the 3%, much, much, much less, 300,000 out of $50 million. So let's not get into that 3%, which is an absolute lie. And he made a decision. He decided to fight for the undisputed, which was the 4 titles. And then he made a decision not to honor the rules. I love Terence Crawford, great fighter, Hall of Famer, legendary. And he made a decision. There's no issue between the WBC and Terence Crawford. As far as any other fighter, you can check. We report publicly to the Association of Boxing Commissions in the United States every penny that is collected. So all that conspiracy theory that there's money and all these things, that it's very fun for any fan to attack, or media that have an issue and to attack, money is not the reason for existence of the WBC. Every action that we do, which we have a huge social responsibility platform, everything goes on behalf of the promoters and fighters who have paid fees. We do all these actions, and we don't go out and say, "Oh, we just did this. We helped this fighter. He's in misery, and we helped them. We picked them up." Can you imagine the honor of that fighter who once was a hero, now to be in a terrible position and to be said publicly? We do many, many actions every day. We keep quiet.
I like that. Maurizio, literally, I could talk to you all night about this because there's so much to discuss. But moving forward, and it ends up with the statement, what are your intentions then to ensure that the 4 belts, the 4-belt era remains strong as Zuffa are starting to sign credible fighters that have got your belts?
Well, that's a controversial double standard and a contradiction to what they've been claiming for 1 year. If they're going to sign champions who have the belts from any of the 4 organizations, and they're going to promote title defenses or unifications, welcome to boxing. We have absolutely nothing against, as long as they operate with the WBC or the organization's rules and they respect the rules and the procedures. Welcome. Thank you for promoting boxing, and we will be there to support and to promote those events to be as important as anyone.
An absolute pleasure, Maurizio. Like I said, I'm sorry I've got to let you go. There were so many questions. Hopefully, I will see you in the UK sometime. But I really do appreciate your time and answering the questions today.
Thank you so much. Great pleasure. And anytime by Zoom or when I go to the UK, I love to have a one-on-one.
Brilliant. I look forward to it. Take care, Maurizio. Guys, if you could put your comments under the video, let us know what you think. I think it was quite an open conversation, time permitting. Until I see Maurizio again, once again, thanks for listening. And obviously, thank you to our guest, the WBC President, Mauricio Sulaiman.
And if you want to send comments for response, I will be more than happy to respond.